What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 24 of Procedurally Generated. It is September 13th, 2021. Honestly, just 1 week after our last recording. That's a good
For
sign.
once.
Yeah,
We're
I know,
telling
right?
the truth this time.
You hear the dulcet tones of John Carson. John,
Hello.
say hi.
Hi.
My name is Chris Weber, and introducing, for the first time ever, our third co-host, Courtney Norman. What's up, Courtney?
Hi. Hi, guys.
Welcome.
I'm just trying so hard not to laugh over here.
Right, we had a little bit of a disjointed start.
That
there.
intro was bumpy.
Mhm.
I mean, the intro itself was fine. It was the road leading up to it is the driveway that was
Yeah.
very
Well, and John,
gravelly.
you're sultry like hello.
Hello.
It threw me.
Yeah. When he tries, he sounds good.
Wow.
He just doesn't.
But when
try
I
very
don't,
hard.
dear Lord.
Yeah. Well, what's up, everybody? We have a exciting show planned. This is our first time having three co-hosts.
Mhm.
And if it's
It's gonna be
bumpy,
weird editing this.
yeah, it's gonna be a new experience for all of us. So bear with us. We have an idea of how this will go, but it may not go that way at all. But yeah, let's jump in. This is as I said, episode 24 for reals. 1 week after last week's episode.
Yeah.
But what have you guys been playing? What have you guys been doing? John, why don't you lead us off? I guess I have
people
to
can grasp what I've been playing recently. This last week I've been playing some Tales of Arise. I played like 8
Totes
hours
jelly.
or so this weekend. It's really good. That RPG is rad. If people aren't familiar with it, it's a long-running RPG series from Bandai Namco, where you do have battles that you get into that are not turn-based. They're all action-oriented. So everything that you're doing is like you have normal attacks and you have special attacks that you can combo into, and you have sometimes 2 to 4 characters on the battlefield at the same time. There's craziness that happens. This one kind of switches it up for the series where actually I can't really speak to like the last 3 or 4 Tales games. I think the last one I really played was Tales of Vesperia.
I can't keep them in order. I know what the more modern ones are. There's Berseria, Vesperia,
Zillia.
Zillia 2, I think
Zillia
had
2,
an actual
yeah.
sequel. I think was Berseria the last one.
I think so. So
Okay.
with like previous ones that I played, it would be like you'd be introduced to your main character, and then you're kind of like kicked out into an open world where you're like traveling from town to town, and like there's random battles that happen in that area. But with this, it's very much a like you're introduced to your characters, and you're going to areas around like your first town, but they're very like designed levels, or like I'm trying to think of a game that's it's similar to. Chris, you played the demo for that, right?
I did.
Yeah.
It's
You know what I'm talking about? Like there isn't an overworld. It's all interconnected.
It's similar to like how
areas.
Kind of like would it be like a Final Fantasy VII remake type scenario where
Sure,
there isn't an
yes,
open world?
yes.
You're kind of okay.
Yeah, correct. So
okay.
something more along those lines. But they're doing like a more mature take with this game too. So it's less. I mean, it's still very anime looking, but it's more painterly. So everything has like a lot of like brush strokes and texture to it. Has a really nice look to all the art.
That was the biggest thing that got me going with this game. I just this is a big upgrade in visuals.
Huge.
Yeah, the other Tales games, it never felt like they were moving forward with the generational leaps. It was just always kind of bland environments, very anime minimalistic in terms of actual styling and detail. This took I mean, ever since the first trailer, I was like, oh boy, this could be something that really captures me. I've always wanted to be a fan of the Tales games. The visuals have they've never been the thing that's turned me off of the game. It's the combat. The combat is kind of always been the turn off for me, but I saw the visuals when I played the demo, and I was like, these visuals are good enough to carry me through, I think. Plus, I've become more of a fan of action RPGs since playing the Ys games. Well, at least just Ys 8. And that really helped me turn a corner in terms of that combat. So I'm looking forward to getting into Arise. It's going to be a while, but I'm excited to jump in when I have the chance.
I guess I should get into a little bit of the story stuff too. So, you have two main characters. There's two characters from two different worlds. One world kind of like subjugates the other one. So of course there's kind of a racial dynamic that's going on. Like both sides are like real crappy to each other. For being on their other side of things of just like where they live. Like obviously they're working together, but there are these like weird racial undertones that I think is actually pretty interesting. From what I've read, they handled them pretty well.
Okay.
But there's like this high class group of people, and then there's like the people that they made their slaves to like harvest energy from them. And so the main characters are Shion, or Shion. I don't know how you pronounce it. But she's like from that like higher class group of people. And then there's you start off knowing him as Iron Mask, but he's a dude who's been a slave as long as he can remember, which is only about a year, because he has amnesia. Because of course you do in a JRPG. But Shion has this thing where if anybody touches her, they get electrocuted. Iron Mask has this thing where he just doesn't feel pain, so they're like perfect for each other. But Shion also has like this magical energy sphere in her chest that pulls out this blazing sword that Iron Mask can use without feeling any pain. So like there's this whole like pain and not pain dynamic, and I don't know, this weird like sexual tension between these two. Yeah. Anime.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a neat premise to like start it off, and then they start adventuring together to take out all of these like the higher class group of people's lords. And like I think Shion wants to be like the ultimate one. I don't know what's going on there yet. We haven't really seen her ambitions, but she wants to take them out. She has her reasons. I have not heard them, but that game's cool. That's a sweet game, and
that's kind of what you've been spending most of your time with. You have anything else?
Yeah,
we're in the era of the podcast now where a lot of your answers can be, I'm not allowed to talk about that.
This week I played like 2 seconds of NBA 2K22. I bought WarioWare, but I didn't play it yet. No, I think literally that is it.
Okay.
It's been Magic the Gathering.
Yes.
Shock.
The old standby.
And then Tales of Arise.
Perfect.
It's been a busy few days.
Yeah. So. I hear you. Courtney.
Yeah.
What have you been up to? What have you been playing?
Well, I also got to play a lot of one of my old standbys this week. Heroes of the Storm. Old Blizzard game. It's been around for years and years. But some people in the gaming group have decided to get into it or to try it out. So it's been kind of fun jumping in with them and playing it again.
Nice.
So
who's your main? Who are you playing as?
My Nova and Li Ming and Vala are the 3 highest characters I have.
Nice.
They're all up over 100.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I haven't played that game in forever.
I've
never played.
enjoyed that game.
Chris, it's like
prepared for people to yell at you.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like Among Us then. Got it.
Right. Well, I mean, it's a MOBA, so
yeah. That sounds.
But
nice.
it's one of the most. It's like one of the more easier going MOBAs outside of like Pokemon Unite. Because like you can have your own individual objectives. You can kind of like it. I don't find that like the micro objectives in Heroes of the Storm are as critical as something that's like Dota or League of Legends. Like people aren't just going to get mad at you for like walking through the jungle at the wrong time.
Yeah.
So I guess if you're playing with the right people.
People in that game rage for ridiculous reasons.
That's
ridiculous reasons. But it's part of the territory. I did have a new game this week though. Forewarned. Opened their early access. It's kind of like a Phasmophobia, where you've got your team of detective hunters that are going into like an Egyptian tomb, and you have to determine what kind of monster has been lurking down there and find some evidence to help you along the way. It's that kind of thing. But it had some extra. The jump scares I think were better than a Phasmophobia. I normally don't get real jumpy playing Phasmophobia. I've screamed several times now in Forewarned.
Have you played the new Phasmophobia update?
Yes.
What did they add to it?
They've been adding a bunch of stuff. They changed some of the tools and stuff that you're using. They've made the ghost has been a lot more difficult in Phasmophobia. It seems like they keep bumping up the difficulty level. I have a really hard time hiding from the ghost now in Phasmophobia. I die a lot more often, and I'm doing the same kind of things that I've always done.
Yeah.
But the ghosts seem to like find you more quickly.
Is that good?
Yeah, it's good. It makes it more challenging because we were playing Phasmophobia a lot for a while, and it did kind of get to a very routine kind of point where, like Coda and I would play, and we'd go into the house and doom, we're done, we're out, next. And it wasn't like there's no scare factor anymore. It wasn't that kind of game anymore. But now some of that has come back. They've made some good updates.
Okay, you would say like there are moments that are more frightening in Phasmophobia since the updates, because that was the thing. I always wondered how. I always have a problem with multiplayer games, especially horror centric ones, where the loop runs dry.
Hate it when the loop runs dry.
Yeah, right. That's a saying. We're just gonna adopt it. You heard it here first. I always wondered how the fear factor continues to hold up, and it turns out it doesn't. But apparently they can shake things up a little bit to keep it interesting. So I only played like one round of Phasmophobia in my life.
Oh, so you should play more.
Oh,
I played one with, I think it was with you, and that was like this was fine.
That was all you needed.
This was fine.
I just looked up Forewarned, so it's more of a like grave excavation.
You go into, instead of going into a house, you're going into a tomb.
Okay.
That has all kinds of different rooms.
That's already spookier.
Booby traps are down there. And if you die, which you can die to one of the traps, some bad things can happen to you. You have the option if you want to come back as a mummy that helps your team, or a mummy that hinders your team. So that's kind of that's a fun option too.
That's awesome.
So we were going to one last thing for you, Mecca. We were going Courtney. Sorry, that's good. That's gonna happen a lot.
It's gonna be both.
I'm not editing that.
Perfect. So yesterday we were thinking about recording yesterday, right? And we didn't, but it was my fault that we didn't, because I forgot that we had a baby shower. However, when we were figuring out when we were going to record, Courtney was like, "We can, but I need to be done by 3 for a Fortnite event."
I'm so ashamed.
You're so cool. Oh no, was it the end of season 7?
Season 7 ended on Saturday, and then yesterday at 3:00 they had their big event thing introducing season 8. And then
I didn't even know you liked Fortnite.
I didn't know I liked Fortnite either.
Oh, this is new. This is a new development. Okay, all right. Well, did you watch the event?
You're off the show.
Did you dig it? Did you enjoy it?
Totally dug the event.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Are you a diehard Fortnite fan now?
I really think we're getting there.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And
all right.
I 100% blame our dear friend Kodalash.
That sounds right.
Oh yeah, Coda's been down with that for a while.
He is hardcore. He is hardcore Fortnite, and he got me roped in. I think probably like the first time I really paid attention was when he streamed one of their last events.
Was it
it might have been the start to season 7.
Avengers one?
That could have been it too.
At one point, like that's the only event I ever watched too.
That was the one that I played. That one.
Yeah.
Because I think Coda was like streaming something before it, like just watching the sky.
Yeah,
like something was happening. Like there's
like
a black hole or something. I'm like,
I
have to be in there. Like,
It feels like you're gonna miss out on something.
Is Coda an influencer?
I think he is. I really think
he's influenced more people than I have.
So. Yeah, clearly. Listen, he's onto something. He was the first person to say positive things about Fortnite. You guys, I can't
he's the first one ever.
He was the first one to figure out this Fortnite thing.
Yeah.
Oh man. Anything else you've been playing, Courtney?
Those are the big ones.
Okay.
Cool. And you forced the guilty pleasure out of me. I can't believe it.
Oh yeah, I was not letting that slide. We had to discuss Fortnite.
Secret shame.
So, well, I have been continuing to stream Persona 4. I think last time we spoke, I was just getting ready to start it. So I'm playing some Persona 4 Golden. Turns out that game that originally came out on PS2
is a PS2 game.
Still very good. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. It's just there's something there with Persona that I played 5. I beat it earlier this year. It took me a very long time. And when Persona 4 came up on my list, I'm like, oh my God, can I really do this again? I can.
It's a different game.
Having a good time with it. Yeah. It's new characters. People have said such positive things about Persona 4 Golden specifically for such a long time that, I was excited to get into that. So that's what I've been focusing gameplay wise on. And then on the stream, it's the other half is still learning how to code. We jump back into JavaScript and it turns out it's easier the second time. So we're making some progress in that. But there is one game that I'm playing not on stream. This is the first time.
How dare you?
I know.
Cheating on your viewers.
I actually feel guilty because this game is awesome and it's gonna end up in my top 10 for the year.
No.
It may end up pretty high.
Just edging out Outriders.
Yeah, the game that kept crashing and forced me to stop playing.
That's the one. It's a thin year. Let's be real here.
So this is the first game that I've started and expect to finish off stream. So this is the first game I've played, which I'll be starting and finishing off stream in 2 years. Because I just don't play games offline very often. If I do, I'll start something on stream and then I'll maybe continue it offline. But something about this one, I was just going to try it and I was hooked right in and I knew I had Persona in front of me and I didn't want to stop. But this game is called The Artful Escape. It is on Game Pass. It is filled with so much style. There's so much packed into this. What eventually going to be a short game. My perfect example. I put this out in a tweet. I said somebody needs to get a hold of Lisa Frank and set them down in front of this game. So if you guys don't know who Lisa Frank is, which maybe I am old, but basically
it's like an 80s figure, man.
It is. 80s, early 90s, but just super bright, vibrant purples, pinks, greens, yellows, making up these pictures. Look up Lisa Frank and you'll see why I think The Artful Escape are like 1 in 1 here. But you basically play a role of a kid. His uncle was this super famous folk musician. Think Bob Dylan. As people from Minnesota, we can't possibly think of anybody else. So you're the nephew of this guy who is a folk legend. You're getting ready for this big concert. You play yourself off as being a folk musician, but you obviously have much deeper passions related to music. So the first part was a little bit slow and I wasn't really sure where it was going to lead, but and I don't want to spoil things, but the game goes places that you wouldn't expect. It is the story so far is super interesting. It's about this kid, and maybe it's more relatable to me now because I'm going through a pretty significant career focused change. But it's about basically being somebody, putting yourself in a position to be somebody you're not, and working through accepting and kind of forcing yourself to accept what you want to be, what you want to do, despite what everybody else thinks. So there's like a deeper story that I think just resonates with me, especially now. And couple that with the amazing visuals, the amazing sounds that come from this game, just the creativity and the imagination that goes into it. I'm really having a super fun time with this.
Is it a 2D platformer? I can never tell from the trailers of this thing because it looks like an auto runner.
It is not an auto runner.
Okay,
no, it is.
It's always like this kid just like sliding down slopes and jumping through the air and like strumming on his guitar, and there's like there's crazy like Elton John visuals that are happening in the background, like
right. It's some acid trippiness kind of.
It's like his whole transformation into being a rock star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would. You can call it a platformer. The platforming is very light. It is more of like a locomotion based story game. You just basically are always walking pushing simulator? Yourself to the right. Yeah, kind of. I mean walking simulator, I just attribute to first person kind of a
light Limbo.
Yeah, that's actually something along it's there. Well, there are no puzzles to speak of that,
and you're not dying all the time in terrible ways.
Are you enjoying this enough that you're going to want to play it again on stream?
I don't know. I do feel like I need to make sure that I show it off to people. Because it is super good.
I was editing a review of this last week, and it sounds like there's choices that you make in there that might be interesting enough to play again.
Yeah, you give yourself a label where you give yourself a place that you're from. You give yourself a little bit of a background. I don't know how much that stuff plays into what happens, but I mean, it's a short enough experience that maybe I do play it again.
Because I can see on your face, which no one else can see right now. Like you're talking about this game with this big grin on your face, like you're obviously really into it.
I am, and it's as it goes on. I'm not done yet. I've still got probably 2 hours left. But as it goes forward, I can just see this transformation happening, and it's like I'm so proud of this little buddy as he's going through it. And the characters are super cool. There's a lot of good humor. It's got some big name voice actors. Cersei Lannister, she's in it.
Sure.
Lena Headey. I'm trying to think. There's some other Schwartzman, Ben Schwartzman.
Oh
no,
Jason Schwartzman.
Jason Schwartzman. Yep, he's in it. Yeah. So big names. Really, really cool, but bright, vibrant, fun game.
You just called it a butt vibrant game.
Butt vibrant game. It's so good it makes your butt vibrate.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's great.
Yep. But that's all I've been playing. Anything else we should cover before we move on?
I don't think so.
No?
I'm trying to think. I want to cover the PlayStation stuff that happened. There's a lot of cool PlayStation games coming out. I don't have any notes in front of me. I don't
know.
There's a new Spider-Man.
Yep.
There's a Wolverine game coming from the Spider-Man team.
We saw some footage of God of War Ragnarok. People got mad about the boat animation, and I'm like, you people are stupid.
All right, yeah, let's run this one down really quick, just because like we talk about like production and stuff.
Yeah.
So people are mad, when I say people, I mean just mad. Like I don't know. Dominoes fell in the right way on social media, where a tweet got lifted up about somebody comparing Kratos like pushing a boat into the water and jumping in on it, and the guy pointing out like the animations are the same, and then someone's like, my friend worked for a year to make that work right.
Oh,
why not like just reuse it so you don't have to deal with that again? It's like, don't you know what like all that stuff happens all over game development.
Kratos, he was in the last game,
right?
It's like, what are we doing? The game looks.
You think Mario's had like new animations for every game? No,
right, exactly.
No, all those enemies. No. Pokemon games. It's all like this. It's all mostly the same models, because you can't just like do 800 different models for every game and like reanimate them for every game. There's no way.
So yeah, no, the game looks amazing. I can't wait to get into it. Seeing the footage of that just got me ready to go
looks
again
good.
in God of War.
And then we were all pretty. The gaming industry as a whole was pretty salty about Deathloop being part of that presentation. But I guess get your money's worth with a Bethesda game on PlayStation 5 because there won't be many soon.
Yeah.
But then today, like, reviews dropped and everyone loves that game. So well worth it. Push that to the moon from what I've been hearing. So
yeah, after deciding that I wasn't going to play Deathloop, I saw the reviews drop and I was like, well, all right, maybe we need to revisit this stance. We'll see. I still don't think it's a game for me, but you see something like that get that much love. It's almost, you just got to do it. Just
the thing I keep hearing is like, oh, it's the immersive sim thing, but done right, or like making it interesting in shorter bursts than like something like Prey or Dishonored. So, I mean, that might be good for me because I never really got into those.
Yeah, but I didn't either, and I haven't really
tried. But like, I'd jump in for like 10 minutes and see what's up. But that's not really giving anything a fair shake.
Yeah. I guess one thing I am doing as well. I'm not playing it, but when I wake up, I'm putting on
your makeup.
There's a website. No, I'm not.
Like that song.
There's like that website that or a YouTube channel that takes all of the gameplay out of games and just puts the cutscenes together. And I thought, this is the perfect way. It's called Gamer's Little Playground, by the way. It's a super cool YouTube channel. Check it out. I was like, this is the way that I want to experience Death Stranding. I don't want to play that game. I want to see what's going on in the story. So that's how I'm choosing to take in Death Stranding after trying to stream it last month, I think, and was just zero fun. No, do not put that gameplay in front of me. But I do want to see what goes on in that story. What?
That game is starting to look fun to me.
Have you played it?
No.
Okay, all right.
I'm like slightly more interested though. Like packing up all of your boxes in a certain way and traversing. It's like it's a weird platformer. It's a puzzle platformer.
Nope.
Now you can make cannons to shoot your packages.
Yeah, they've made some improvements to the
there's robot legs that you can sit on, and that can travel your ass over distances.
When I was playing that on stream, playing that game was a chore.
You had some controlled rage going on when you were playing that game.
Well, I just kept hearing like, get to chapter 3, and I'm like, listen, that is forever from now. It went to chapter 1 like after the prologue, and I'm like, that's still so long. Like I can't. And then the river took me, and all of my boxes floated away, and I was
that's
done.
That's the Death Stranding, baby.
It's like, we're not doing this anymore. So that's how I'm choosing to take in Death Stranding.
You got Koji mode.
But that's what we've got. Any last quips before we move on? All right.
No. No.
So as always, just want to send out a reminder to you guys. If you guys are enjoying the show, if you guys approve of the decision to bring Courtney on as our third co-host, please go on to wherever you're listening to this and leave a positive review. 5 stars would help on Apple Music. We're on a couple of different platforms. We have Spotify and stuff, but we also have like Good Pods you mentioned. We're on Podchaser. Still trying to figure those things out. But if you know anything about them and you find the show on there, build it up. Let's go.
Yeah, or let us know if you need it. If you need us to put it anywhere.
Yeah,
whatever.
Yeah, if you guys know of other ways to help us kind of promote the
on the radio. Put it on phonographs.
Oh my gosh.
Some
and also
tapes.
We invite you to be a part of the show as well. So if you guys could jump into our Patreon, donations, and support would be much appreciated. But you can leave messages there. You can let us know if we missed on something, if we nailed your favorite game and did a perfect job with it. That's a good spot to do it. Twitter is another one, PG_show. on Twitter. You can email us at pgshowinbox@gmail.com. And we also have an amazing community growing every day on Discord, which has been another place to just let us know what you guys think. So, John, I think I led off games last week. And because of our third game, I want you to lead off this week. God. So why don't you go ahead and introduce us to our first game? Oh, full disclosure, by the way, we're throwing this show together in such a way that Courtney doesn't even know what these games are. Her role is
that
not
was
to do
kind of by design at first,
yes.
And then we were talking about this right beforehand. It's like, well, maybe she wants to like look stuff up. So I guess full disclosure, we don't know exactly what Courtney's doing on the show yet, besides like asking us other questions about games, kind of like breaking the topics up a bit and like trying to make it more conversational than just us dumping information.
Yeah, she's going to kind of function on your behalf as the listeners. Questions that she has as we go through it may have questions, maybe questions that you guys are running through as well.
But also, Courtney can do whatever she wants.
True. I can do whatever I want.
Whatever you want. You have a live mic.
But now I'm a little terrified that I'm suddenly representing the audience. This is a lot.
You're representing you. Fine.
Yeah.
The audience has a lot of questions.
But eventually, like once if we start doing live shows and stuff, like Courtney's going to start handling
when we start doing live shows.
It's going to be more production stuff and like watching chat and maybe asking questions from people in chat and being like that voice on the show as well. But also like Courtney, feel free to chime in on whatever you want. If you do see like games that are interesting to you, whenever we're researching these, research it. Go for it. Whatever. Do what you want.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
I don't care.
I like
do what you want.
All right, John.
All right.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to fall flat on my face with this one right here. Our first game this week is a point-and-click adventure released in 2005. The developer was Bernie, I think is the only name that I got out of who developed this.
I like this is a question.
I've got his studio name.
What's the studio name, Chris?
Origami Hero?
So I saw that for like a link that they posted it on itch.io, but I don't know if that's just someone reposting it. In the credits for the game, it says like something and it says from Bernie.
Yeah, the website for Origami Hero is tied to a single developer.
Okay.
I didn't actually see he didn't have his name on the website, so you done good by finding Bernie.
I looked at the credits on the game because there weren't credits anywhere else. So this is, like I said, a point-and-click adventure. It's actually built on a adventure game building platform.
Yeah.
Chris, what's the name of that again? Adventure Game Studio is what it's called. It was actually done for a monthly contest.
I don't think we said the name of the game yet.
Oh, it's Cedric and the Revolution. Everyone.
It's been a day, John. Maybe I should have let off. I should have factored in the day you've had.
Chris, the past 5 days that I've had. Let me tell you. Cedric and the Revolution is the name of the game. It's a very short point-and-click adventure game. It was built for a monthly competition, which it won awards for.
Sure did.
Which is very interesting. Chris, do you want to talk about the story of this game?
So in Cedric and the Revolution, you are a dwarf, Cedric, who wants to become the blacksmith's apprentice. However, the blacksmith is unable to hire Cedric as the king at the time has enforced a new law imposing high taxes on the town's residents. Cedric wants to start a revolution against those practices and has to find more people to join his quest. Cedric teams up with Victor the blacksmith to start the revolution. That's a lot to fit into an hour-long game.
Yeah. But I think it's only like 13 screens, 13 backgrounds or so.
Yeah. It is. I actually had an interesting note about that. It was, I'll
Did I just ruin it for you?
No.
Okay. All right. Fair.
But it is a freeware game. So it is, but it is going to be. I couldn't download it. I clicked on the link and it just would. It'd be like no. It wouldn't take me to a broken page. It just wouldn't go. So I was not able to play it myself, which is fine. I don't have a real strong affinity for point and click adventure games, but I did want to at least try to experience it a little bit. But as John said, it was developed for the December edition of the Mags, which is the monthly adventure game studio.
Yes.
I thought it was a publication when I first read that.
I think it's just a group of people who are on a website together.
Yeah, they just super duper like adventure games,
or like specifically using this tool to build them.
Yeah. It is so small, in fact, that it does not even require an installation.
Yeah, it just kind of runs. It's weird.
Yeah. Let's see. For the December edition of Mags, there were parameters that people had to follow.
Yes.
So the rules for that month were that the game had to contain elves, a ball, and a crab.
Egg? Oh, a crab.
Wow.
Crab, that's right.
Yeah. So very specific requirements. I don't know how the ball or crab fit into this. I didn't see more than 10 minutes of gameplay.
Yeah, I only watched like the very beginning, and I checked the credits for.
Okay, perfect.
For who made it, but it's very much in the vein of like a Monkey Island.
Yes,
it looks like that. All like the text bubbles that are above people's heads are like very much in that vein. You have like options at the bottom of the screen to like walk to or use or pick up or hit, and then you have your items in your inventory that you can kind of like drag to whatever you're trying to puzzle out in the on the map. I don't know. It's a point and click adventure.
Yeah.
Where you're trying to lower the taxes in the kingdom so you can get hired as a blacksmith apprentice.
Right. Yeah.
That's it.
So, and as John mentioned, it did win 2 AGS awards.
Damn right.
And I didn't know what that meant. So I found on Wikipedia that AGS, just being Adventure Game Studios, they have their own awards that they hand out on a yearly basis. And the Wikipedia entry for it sadly only went back to 2012. And this came out in 2005. I'm like, well, we're never going to find this. Then I found the website for AGS, which is still maintained, and was able to locate Cedric the Revolution having won 2 awards. One was for best puzzles. The other was for best short game. And it won both those awards in 2005.
It was nominated for best game created with AGS in 2005, best player character, best background art, and best character art.
So we're talking top tier.
I want to play this game now.
Yeah.
I wish I could tell you how. Well, because mine was because the link didn't work. I was on. I was gonna do it.
Let me see here. Download options. Download.
Yeah, what happened? I see a download button
on the AGS page.
What is this? Origamihero.itch.io.
Yeah,
might be on there.
Oh wait, I guess I wasn't on the itch site, so I didn't actually find the itch site.
I feel like
just found the
itch.io would be more reliable.
I was gonna say, am I gonna be downloading some sketchy file?
Not from itch. I don't think.
Yeah, no, itch.io is reliable.
It's legit.
But yeah, I mean that's really all I have about the game. Again, short experience. If you're into adventure games, probably worth taking a look. I thought the art was fine. Fine. The
looks neat.
The dialogue was, it had humor. Just
think
like
you're
what you'll
dealing with
find.
the devil at the end. Like it goes places.
Oh, clearly I didn't know that. I just saw a part where the main character took like one of those things you squeeze together where the air comes out the end. It's not really a pump, but it's like a fan pump.
An accordion.
Sure, we'll call it an accordion fan. We'll just nestle on that. And he blew somebody's wig into the ocean, and it was like more of a toupee. And I was like,
yeah, that's a classic adventure game thing. Yeah.
So, I don't have too much else on the game.
We have any questions?
I'm really sad that one of you did not play this game.
I watched a YouTube Let's Play for about 7 minutes. I think I know everything about this game.
I did too.
So
I did it as well.
The developer, you said his name was Bernie?
Bernie. Or someone is attributed to a quote at the end.
Okay.
Bernie. Let me look at it again quick.
The developer that
just vamp for me here.
Yeah, the guy whose website that I was on, Origami Hero specific, not the HIO website, was he just basically labeled himself as a part-time game developer from Austria. He finishes 1 out of every 10 games he starts. It's just a hobby for him.
It's like me, but like playing them.
Right, not building them.
Yeah. It says thanks for playing, and then Bernie underneath. So I think the dude's name is Bernie.
I think it seems like we can make that leap.
Just Bernie.
He just needs one name.
I did find him on Twitter. So you know what? When we put this show out there,
do we ask him, is your name Bernie, sir?
He's going to respond like, who the hell is Bernie?
Who's a Bernie?
No.
Well.
All right. I think that's all we've got on Cedric and the Revolution.
Yeah. I would agree. Hard agree.
Then let's, Courtney, any follow-up questions? Anything else you're dying to know about Cedric and the Revolution?
Cedric, he's short.
I'm dying to know a lot about Cedric and the Revolution.
The Revolution.
And I looked at a couple of images while you guys were talking, and that's a game that I want to play.
It's just a cute little
quirky
thing you can do in an hour.
Courtney, have you played like Monkey Island?
No.
Are you a point-and-click adventure? Play some Monkey Island.
Should I be playing Monkey Island instead of Cedric and the Revolution?
Probably.
Cedric and the Revolution sounds like a really good band name.
You could play some Day of the Tentacle. That's on PS4 remastered. That might have the visual upgrade and the humor there.
There is also the Monkey Island. Was it Tales of Monkey Island? The ones that were made by Telltale.
Oh,
back in the day. Those were my first Monkey Islands, which is blasphemy, but yeah, those games are good. Very, like, if you go for the older ones from like the 80s or 90s, those are very obscure puzzles. You are going to be ripping out your hair.
It's
trying to solve certain things.
Screen, trying to see what is interactable and what's not. Yeah, that's why I could not play adventure games.
But the Telltale ones were good. Those were like maybe my first point-and-click adventure games that I played like as an adult or close to an adult.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyways,
well,
Cedric and the Revolution.
There it is. Only available on Windows. Cool. Well, let's say we take a little break.
Sure.
Sound good?
Let's do it.
Groovy. We'll see you guys in just a couple minutes. Welcome back, everybody. How was your break?
It's good. I'm still drinking this coffee. I grabbed a beer. I have a Voodoo Ranger, American Haze.
It's almost 9:00 at night. Why are you drinking coffee?
I've been burning the midnight oil since 8 a.m.
Man.
Oh, man.
I can't even look at caffeine
I need the energy.
Past 4 p.m.
I'm a 34-year-old man.
Shut up.
Plays video games for a
one
living.
here.
Yeah, you're not getting any sympathy.
The youngest one?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Stop complaining about how old you aren't, John.
I have so much more gray hair than you.
I have some coming through. I notice it now that I wear my hair up. It's something.
I'm aged 10 years by the comment sections.
That's true. You invite hatred everywhere you go.
I've gotten like very nice emails from people and have not seen any hatred yet. So I'm like the luckiest person in the game industry. It's like, so like, I know everything's going to be like terrible. Like people are just going to be dumb and mean about things, but like I've actually had really good experiences somehow. It also helped that our website's comments were down for like a month and a half, so
that will eliminate some of the negative.
That would happen. So
yeah.
Those are now back, and
You seem kind of
Bring on
excited, like you
comments.
want some hate mail.
I want to feel it.
I mean, I
live.
want to see what I'm doing wrong.
Nothing. You're a flawless human.
I guess. Am I playing it too safe with everything?
We're gonna start to see some very.
Am I not
different
getting
writing
spicy
coming out of
enough?
John Carson.
Yeah. Right.
What do I have to do to incite you people?
Oh no.
I almost said something that I better not say.
I mean, I could say bad things about like Final Fantasy VII or
was it going to
Sonic
be about
the Hedgehog.
It was going to be about a different outlet and some of the decisions that they've been making.
No, I'm not going to speak
just
on that. No,
incite a riot. You could just do that. Anyways,
make everyone aggravated.
Yes.
I'm
going to start leaving you some bad comments just to.
Thank you.
Fulfill you.
Thank you. I'm going to cry. Good thing I'm not in my office.
All right, our second game, we'll move on here, is I would say beloved, or at least it has a strong. Its lineage is strong.
Oh, it's probably the strongest lineage in the series.
Yeah,
I would for what the game is today.
And most people, if you want to, most people have access to this game.
It's true.
Well, most maybe isn't the right word, but there's a lot of ways to play this game. Developed by HAL Laboratory, published by Nintendo. We have ourselves a cutesy, adorable little side-scrolling platformer. This version that we drew released in 2013. However, the original version released in 1993 on the Nintendo Entertainment System. I somehow had never played this game prior to drawing it.
Wow.
But I've rectified that now. We have a game called Kirby's Adventure.
We've been teasing Mecca with this, like, you're gonna know this game.
Yeah. So, is that true? Were we right?
I do know of the game. I've never played it.
You never played Kirby?
No.
Or have you never played this one? Oh man.
I'd never played a Kirby game either.
You've never played a Kirby game?
Nope. Kirby has like always just been to the side. I was like, it's a purple puffball. I'm a really cool 8-year-old.
I have to go. I need to shut this recording down.
Like I don't play with pink protagonists. And I'm not gonna lie.
Well, if you played it on the Game Boy, he wasn't pink. He was kind of greenish.
That's true.
Greenish.
That's true. And actually, there's a lot of very interesting stories about that we'll talk about. Sure. Right, meow. But here's the setup.
You just got me out.
I did. Here's the setup for this story. So this is the second game in the series. The first one was Kirby's Dreamland. Yes,
Dreamland.
That was the
on the Game Boy.
Game Boy, yes.
Game Boy.
One day, Kirby is surprised to discover that he cannot have any dreams during his customary after-lunch nap. Soon he discovers that King Dedede has stolen the Star Rod, which supplies the energy to the Fountain of Dreams, and broken it into several pieces, entrusting each of his allies with one. Kirby has no other choice but find these pieces and bring dreams back to Dreamland. I almost really screwed up that
Dreamland?
Dream blah 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 blah.
Dreamland.
So yes, Kirby's Adventure is an action side-scrolling platform game. The Pink Puffball Kirby, the player explores numerous colorful lands with a variety of enemies to defeat. To help out on his journey, Kirby has the ability to eat enemies and spit them out as projectiles. With certain enemies, Kirby can capture their abilities, gain like gaining a sword, shooting lasers, and even fly around the level. Which you could just fly around the level.
You could just fly around the level.
Yeah, you don't need to eat anything for that.
No.
You just do it. I was doing it accidentally and I couldn't figure out what was going on.
Flap around. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Kirby.
You have to push the up button to do it, which is also the thing to get in the doors. And I was missing the door and I just fly away and I had to land again and try to use the door again.
It was 1993.
It was. So
how much of this game did you play?
I beat the first boss and stopped when I got to the second level.
Was it the tree?
Yeah.
It's always the tree.
It's iconic. Like I've seen this tree in like magazine, like growing up, like looking at magazines and stuff. This is the first time I'd seen it and fought it. It was the easiest boss I think I've ever fought in my life. I had the sword power up. I hacked him like 12 times, had his health down to like a fifth before he even did an attack animation. And yeah, it was very, very simple.
So the notable thing about this game, at least for me, well, other than it being like the first Kirby game on a console, was that this was the first Kirby game with like powers.
Yes.
The previous game just had like you'd be able to like inhale things and shoot them out to like kill enemies, and that was your main attack. You would sometimes get like one of those like spicy things and like shoot fire. I think maybe there's also like an invincibility thing. I could be very wrong. I could be mashing like 80 different Kirby games into the original.
And I'm definitely not the guy to confirm.
But there definitely weren't powers, and that's where I think this is the most influential Kirby game out of all of them, because that's what he's known for, is like eating enemies, taking their special abilities, and then being able to do attacks with them. So whether it's like a Waddle Dee that like shoots beams from its eyes, like you take that power. You have the cutter power, fireballs. You kind of mentioned some of them before. But powers are like the coolest thing in Kirby. They're just fun to find, and seeing which enemies give you what powers and what the hell they do, and finding different routes through levels using those powers.
Yeah, it's I having never played it before, I was able to rectify that because it is actually one of the games on the NES collection on the Switch. So if you subscribe to Switch Online or Nintendo Online on Switch, you have the SNES and the NES games on there. Part of the NES collection is Kirby's Adventure, so it was an opportunity to jump on there and try it out. And it was fine. I mean, it's tough. I have a hard time, and I think most anybody would. I don't have any nostalgia for Kirby, so I'm going back to an NES game for the first time and trying to decide how I feel about it.
Sure.
It's a hard thing to do, to put myself back 30 years, 1993, almost 30 years.
Yeah.
To decide how it controls. Now, this game, I have to use what other people say about this game to help me base my opinion on it, and it is beloved. It was named the 1993 NES Game of the Year in the GamePro Editor's Choice Awards. That was in GamePro Magazine, Volume 6, Issue 2, which I was actually able to grab a little snippet of, and I put in the Discord. So we'll be able to see that. The runners-up, interestingly enough, were Mega Man 6 and Rescue Rangers 2. Is that beloved? Is that a good game?
Rescue Rangers is. So
I love Rescue Rangers. I didn't know Rescue Rangers 2 was where it's at.
Let's put this into perspective here. When did the Super Nintendo come out? Was that 91?
That is a fair point. Yes.
So this is 2 years into the Super Nintendo being around.
This is the
there were still games coming out on NES. This was the same year that Nintendo released the new style NES. So it's like the one with like the top loading.
Yeah.
Cartridge slot and the dog bone controllers. It's like they were definitely trying to get rid of whatever hardware that they had left and still put out Kirby on it as like a test bed for what they could do with Kirby, I think.
Yeah.
That's always been Kirby's thing, at least in the last few years, is let's do weird things with Kirby, because there was like Kirby's Epic Yarn. That was like this new art direction for Nintendo characters, and then they ended up doing the same thing with Yoshi a few years later. And then like some of the stylus stuff that they were doing with the DS with is it Kirby's, not the Kirby and the Magic Mirror, that's a different one. Anyways, they always do weird gimmicks with Kirby that usually works out in his favor.
Usually.
I think usually. I mean, there's bad ones, but there's cool ideas that they bring forth with Kirby. I think a lot of it comes from like the creative minds that they put behind it. Like the director for this game is Masahiro Sakurai, who you might know as the director of Smash Brothers.
Yes, arguably the hardest working man in video games.
Yeah. Let him rest. Let the man rest.
So,
along
along the lines of how beloved it is as well, EGM in the their issue 200 in February of 2006. 2006, so 13 years after the release of this game, we're several generations beyond this. They named it number 150 out of their top 200. They weirded the front cover weird though, and I think I know what they meant, but they said the greatest 200 games of their time. And I don't know what that means. I can't believe that got
time?
Right. Like I can't believe that got put on the
trying
cover.
To temporarily fit each game into this?
Right.
Well,
this was the 199th game when it came out.
That's just a weird way of saying
so
this is the best game released on this day. You know,
Yeah.
like I don't know. It was weirdly worded, and they meant of all time. I'm surprised that made it past anybody to say, why are we saying their time? That doesn't make sense. Does nobody realize that this doesn't make sense? But yeah, I mean, that's 150 out of 200. Now, granted, this is go gadget math 15 years ago. So there's been plenty of games that have come out since, but to be 13 years out and with newer consoles, amazing games coming out all the time. I think the Super Nintendo is one of the greatest consoles ever made. All kinds of amazing games there. We're well into, let's see, Nintendo 64 has come. We are into PlayStation 2. We are not quite to PlayStation. No, PlayStation 3 would have been like.
I'm sorry, 2000. What year was it?
2006.
Yeah, so we are almost to PS3.
Almost to PS3. So
that would be November of that year.
3 full generations, 4 full generations, thereabouts afterwards. So, yeah, I mean, a beloved game that I slept on, and it was. I'm mad at myself for not playing it when I was younger. I think I would have enjoyed it.
I mean, it was a time and place sort of thing.
Yeah.
I think the Game Boy ones were more the focus because you were getting like in 2 and 3, you were getting like, oh, fun critters I can ride on, or like different powers that you can get. But like Kirby's Adventure was releasing on a console that was past its due date.
Mm-hmm.
I would point out, Chris, you have a Super Nintendo Classic, correct?
I do, yeah.
Yeah. Play Kirby Superstar on there.
Okay.
It's a Kirby game that has like 3 or 4 smaller Kirby games in it with like different gimmicks for each thing. Like one's a RPG, one is a racing thing, one is you play as Meta Knight. There's like a few different things, or like you're fighting against Meta Knight. Anyways, you should play that. It's one of my favorite Kirby games of all time.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a shot.
Also, Kirby's Dream Course is on there, and that's just golf.
Yes, that when you said that, I was like, wait, is that the golf game?
No.
But yeah, I mean, the idea that it also released in '93, this game did some things with Nintendo's hardware, with that specific NES hardware that you know it takes time to know what you can do with a console. So this game was big. This was the largest cartridge released stateside.
I believe it.
At 768 megabits. A giant.
Woo! Huge.
So
huge.
The it's not the biggest NES/Famicom game though. It was actually second to a game that I've never heard of called Metal Slater Glory, which was almost 33% bigger than this one. I don't know what Metal Slater Glory is, but apparently it's a big one. But they're both manufactured by HAL Laboratories. So HAL knew the hardware well enough to make these things big and make them work. So we touched on it briefly, but as this is the first game released on the NES, this was the first time a lot of the
first Kirby game, not the first game.
I'm sorry. Yes. Well, first Kirby game released on the NES. Yes. One of the last ones actually released, but
yeah. All right.
This was the first time that Kirby had a color, and I thought it was funny to note that like a lot of the developers had no idea that Kirby was supposed to be pink.
He was kind of white in like a lot of the box art for the original game.
Well, the cover art, he's a pretty vibrant pink. But this was like that's Sakurai basically communicated. Yeah, I've always imagined him as pink, and the devs were like, "Oh, okay."
But how do we convey that?
Yeah, right. A Game Boy game, you're not going to consider what color he is. He's just a little circle. It's funny. You actually boot up the game, and the first thing it shows you is how to draw Kirby.
Yeah. Yep.
Draw a circle.
It's very
draw some
cute.
ovals. Yeah,
Super
it's
cute.
pretty adorable.
And I always knew how to draw Kirby from then on.
Yeah.
It's been ingrained in my soul. It's etched into my DNA.
So you could sketch us out something right now?
Oh, totally. Let me hold on. I'll do that real quick.
Yep.
This is going to be great.
Well, we'll do a live reaction since you guys can't see it. In the meantime, I'll continue to sing its praises
do it
by
on this
saying
napkin.
It was listed as the 69th best game on a Nintendo console in 2009 by Official Nintendo Magazine, and IGN ranked it as their 84th on a similar list of best Nintendo games in August of 2006. So, not just a fluky thing, beloved by most outlets that carry those sort of opinions.
What would it take for you to finish playing the game?
What would it take for me to finish playing the game?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a fair question. It didn't move the needle for me. I was more interested in how a game that is this beloved, going back to it without any experience with it, how that would feel. And I still, it's some of the controls are strange in that, like, playing on the Pro Controller, the Switch Pro Controller. Okay, you have to think NES controller, 2 buttons. Pretty simplistic to figure out what they do. For some reason, it just never felt very good playing it on the Pro Controller. Having 4 buttons, 2 of the buttons do the same thing. The one that does the thing that I wanted to do doesn't feel like it's in the right spot, though. There's jumping and swallowing enemies, spitting them out. But if you hit up, you can fly. And sometimes I found myself wanting to just walk, and I was flying, and I sometimes would fly into enemies. But of course, I'm controlling it on an analog stick instead of a D-pad. I could have used the D-pad, but that's just weird to me now these days to play something with the D-pad. So it's not the best way to play it. I wonder. I didn't look, but I also have the mini NES. I wonder if, John, do you know if it's on the mini, the Nintendo Mini?
I'll check real quick.
Yeah, if maybe that would be the better way to play it. To answer your question, though, I still don't know. I still, it doesn't seem like a difficult game, but I could also probably put it in the camp of if I played it all the way through. It is on there. Okay.
Yep.
If I play it all the way through, I think it'd be mind-numbingly boring.
That's fair.
I don't know. So,
I have bad news.
What?
How's your Kirby?
Kirby is a ghost.
Oh,
it's just a boo. I just drew a boo.
I think we're going to be taking a picture of this and putting it in the Discord.
Yeah, that's
just a boo.
That's not
well.
Kirby.
I got to the mouth and I started drawing the mouth, and then I was like, "Oh, this is just a ghost."
Yep.
Is that on a napkin?
And then it's on a napkin. Yeah, that's all I have here.
It's an actual napkin drawing.
It's on a Jimmy John's napkin.
Wow.
All I had here were like envelopes with things I shouldn't show you on it.
What?
Good.
What kind of envelopes?
I'm impressed that you used a napkin.
Thank you.
I will say,
give you an A.
John, in some of the pre-release stuff, I found reference to some stuff that actually labeled Kirby as a ghost.
What?
Yeah, stuff that made it to publication that has him labeled as a ghost.
He's not a ghost?
He's not a ghost.
He's just a puffball. He's just like he's Kirby.
Yeah, don't think too hard about what he is. Except puffball, pink puffball as the answer. And
he's like Ditto, but like eats things.
Yeah.
To copy.
Yeah.
He's real hungry. Loves food. That's it. That's Kirby.
Ghosty. Yep.
Well, I mean, it might be a little bit ghosty.
Right. I mean, obviously, he's ghosty enough to confuse a major publication.
I'm gonna post this picture in the Discord right now.
Perfect. I don't have anything else about the game specifically, though. There's probably things to talk about. Do you have anything on the game that you want to talk about, John?
It's Kirby.
It's Kirby.
No, there's like 41 levels, subworlds.
Oh, there's 41 levels?
I think it's
yeah, I don't want to play this game. That seems like too much.
Maybe you can get Jack to play it for you.
41 levels across 7 worlds.
I thought about introducing it to him.
Each containing a lobby with doors leading to 4 to 5 regular levels, a boss fight, and a warp star door, which enables Kirby, not your Kirby, to travel back to previous worlds. And then there's mini games.
Yeah, that was kind of cool. Getting some of the mini games. Although,
yeah, was it like the slingshot one in this one?
Well, every time you beat a level,
yeah,
you get spit out of this thing, and then you land on this platform, and if you hit A right, you get propelled up a bunch of levels, and depending on how you go, you get a 1-up or some sort of bonus. I did a like a crane machine mini game that didn't have any instructions. It just said press A to move your thing and pick up a Kirby, and I'm like, well, that like the D-pad doesn't move, so it's what it's saying is hold down A until you want to be where you want to be, and then let it go. So the first one I moved it like a micrometer, and then it dropped down back where it started, and I was like, well, I wasted that turn, and I was all mad about it. So you didn't give me good instructions. NES game from 1993.
Right.
And then I picked up the big Kirby the second time and dropped it halfway, and then the game was over, and I was like, I hate this game.
So glad you had a good time.
Yeah.
With the Kirby.
It was good. It was fine. It was I can see why for an NES game, I think it is pretty impressive. Quite the assortment of colors presented.
Yes.
The game. Oh man, this is one thing. I don't know why they don't fix it, or if they're just going for realism. But I was suffering some tremendous slowdown in that game.
That's realism.
Spot on emulation, I guess. Yeah.
I feel like that's just part of emulation now. It's like how accurate to the NES experience do you want to get? Do you want like the flashing graphics? Do you want like weird pop-in stuff on the side? You're getting everything but having to blow in the cartridge.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was very true to that experience. There were moments where I was like, oh my God, I can't move. Like it was probably the worst I've noticed on any emulator. But again, if that's how it played, people love that. So yeah, I guess that's all I've got about the game. I thought it was kind of cool how the levels open up. You complete a level, it's like a 2D side scroll type of a perspective, and the blocks go away. It uncovers the next door, and occasionally you'll see a door with a mini game. You'll see a door that takes you to I don't know where else it took me. There were other random doors as well, but yeah, cool.
Kirby
took you somewhere.
Kirby's great. Do you have anything about HAL Laboratories you want to talk about?
Yeah. So I'm a monster. I'm probably the only I'm probably the only person in the world that doesn't immediately connect Kirby to HAL. I always connected Lolo with HAL. And that game.
But have you found the connection between Kirby and Lolo?
They're the same.
Lolo is a boss. In Kirby's Dreamland.
Oh!
What? I did not know that. I
knew of Lolo before Kirby, of course, because just when Lolo came out.
Yeah.
But when I'd been super familiar with the Adventures of Lolo. Is that what it is? Adventures of Lolo?
Yeah, I think it's Adventures of Lolo.
And it's like this like top down like block pushing puzzle game.
Yeah.
And like you're just like this little like dark orb. And that's Lolo.
You're a blue Kirby.
Like a little blue Kirby.
Yeah.
And I was playing Kirby's Dreamland, and then you come up to this boss area, and you have like this like dark looking Kirby, and then you have like a slightly lighter Kirby, and it's Lolo and La La La. So it's Lolo and La La from the Adventures of Lolo.
Oh my God.
That you're fighting as bosses, which it blew my mind when I found out that's who it was. So yes, there is actually a series connection with them, and they show up in other games. They show up in I think the anime as well, But yes, there's a deep connection there.
Nice. I loved Lolo growing up. I played it with my mom.
Lolo was great.
So it was like a puzzle game that we could play together.
Yes.
But that's awesome. But Hal, beyond Lolo and Kirby, have had some, they've had some pretty big releases. They have co-dev credits alongside Ape for a game that John knows a thing or two about.
Don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, right.
Don't know what you're talking about.
You've got a special sound on my Twitch stream because of your
because of this game.
Yes,
it's my favorite game of all time.
John's favorite game of all time. Co-published or co-created by Hal, Earthbound.
Yes.
So that was a big one that's beloved by people. They also developed Pokemon Snap and Pokemon Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And then they've gone on to work with Smash Brothers and Super Smash Brothers Melee. Now they have tons of other games, but those are the big ones that I pulled out. They've got a extensive history.
Box Boy. Box Boy's a rad game.
I never played Box Boy.
They do a lot of like experimental stuff for Nintendo still. So like Box Boy's are you familiar with it at all?
I think so.
You're a little box. You happen to be of a boy.
They're not big on overcomplicating their character designs, are they?
It looks like this Boo, but like a square.
Oh, okay. All right. I see it.
Like a box.
Yeah.
If you're familiar. It's a puzzle game. It's a lot of fun. It's on 3DS.
I saw Hal in a couple of the places, and I don't know how real this is or what aspect of it was. Maybe you can confirm. Sure. Did Hal Laboratories develop the Nintendo 3DS?
They might have helped.
It must have been maybe because I think they had a co-developing credit, but it's not labeled the same on Moby for consoles.
Sure.
So it was hard to specify, but when I went through the list of games developed, Nintendo 3DS was listed there.
There is a built-in game for the 3DS called Face Raiders that they designed.
Okay, maybe that's okay.
So like they worked a lot with like AR stuff.
Okay.
And like the 3D camera.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But they've been doing a lot of like either Box Boy or it looks like they did Picross 3D Round 2. Which is rad. Picross 3D is very good. And the first one. And then Kirby stuff. Lots of Kirby's.
Yeah. And this actually, through researching this, that's the first time I realized that Sakurai was actually the creator of Kirby. I had no idea.
Yeah. And that's why Kirby's like the main character of Smash Ultimate. It's like how everyone gets iced at the beginning, but Kirby.
That's right. I never understood why that was the play, and that makes way more sense now. Now, if you want to play this game, we did talk about the idea that it does exist on Switch, the NES classic stuff on Switch. It can also be found in the Kirby's Dream Collection Special Edition, released the day I turned 27, July 19th, 2012.
Last year.
I know, right? Yes. The bundle also includes Kirby's Dreamland, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, Kirby's Dreamland 2, Kirby Superstar, and Kirby's Dreamland 3. So for the diehard Kirby fan, that seems like something you should check out. I didn't actually check and see 2012. Would that have been released on the WiiU?
WiiU was 2013.
Maybe.
So it would be Wii.
Okay. So there's that, and then there's also a remake of this game on the Game Boy Advance and Wii U called Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland.
Mm-hmm.
So have you played that?
I might have at one point.
Yeah. Okay.
It's a remake of it. It's like when they were remaking like the Mario Brothers, like when they were doing Mario Brothers Advance.
Okay.
They're just spicing it up for Game Boy Advance and selling it there.
Gotcha. So we're not talking Final Fantasy VII remake level of production.
No, we're talking like Final Fantasy 1 and 2 Dawn of Souls.
Okay.
Like,
gotcha.
Touching it up. Maybe retranslating it. But I don't think it's anything super special. I could be wrong. Yeah. It's Kirby. Also, I should note, I know what I'm saying, it's Kirby doesn't help to describe this game. But it's Kirby.
I just see a bunch of people like, oh.
But it has some general enthusiasm along with it, John. It's very
You can't dislike Kirby. You maybe you don't like the way the game plays, but you cannot look at Kirby and be like,
that's not fun. You can't say that.
He is adorable.
That's not a good time.
Yeah.
It's not possible.
That's all I got for Kirby.
I urge you, play a Kirby. Maybe download the demo for like Star Allies and play it with Jack.
Okay.
Oh.
For the Switch.
I could do that.
Yeah, you might like it. It might be a good first platformer for him outside of Mario. Outside of
Jack
Spelunky.
has been playing a lot of games on the Switch. Games he has no idea what he's doing.
Excellent. What's he playing?
He's playing Breath of the Wild.
All right. Yes.
Wow.
He's playing
That's gotta
Rocket
be fun.
League.
Cars.
He is playing. He's playing all the Mario games. I've got the new Mario Brothers. Whatever. Mario Brothers U, the side scroller. Yeah. We've got Odyssey. We've got the 3D All Stars collection. We bought him a really cool coloring book game on there, so he can color. It's actually really
awesome.
cool. He only likes to use the paint bucket, which colors an entire area at once.
Yes.
Yeah, but the problem is he doesn't know how to switch to it and from it, so he'll like switch and then not know how to switch back, and he'll call me in to get the paint bucket so he can keep painting. It's great.
I grew up with Mario paint, so I was all about like paint bucket, like coloring in like full swatches of things and then coloring in everything around it with the same color and then just giggling for hours.
Yeah. He'll like hit the button and like the entire alligator head will change colors, like every time, and it's great. It's great. He loves it.
Does he ask you to play games?
Oh yeah. Yep, we play all kinds of stuff.
But what does he normally? Does he ask for the same thing, and then you're like, "Oh, why don't we try this instead?" Or does he just ask for everything?
He switches gears pretty regularly. He's figured out how to switch games, so he knows how. When he'll play like a level of Mario, beat it, play it again like 6 times. He won't move on to the next level, and then he'll just switch games. I think I've seen the beginning of what was he playing? He for some reason he's playing Animal Crossing. I'm sure it's just because it's bright, colorful, but he keeps picking games that we have to read.
It's great.
So he'll play something, get into it, and be like, Dad, talk, and he wants me to read, and it's like,
Dad, Final Fantasy VIII.
I'll be like,
I want to play a Squall.
How dare you?
Is John talking to you again?
Like, you're done with video games. That's it.
I want to be a seed soldier.
All right, that's all I got for Kirby. I think we're ready to move on to our final game.
I think so. And you wanted me to introduce this one.
I don't know if this is a fair assumption, but this seems more up your alley than mine.
I mean, it is.
Okay. Okay, it's okay. I can confirm 100% it's more up your alley than mine because it is
I mean, there's
my town doesn't even have alleyways.
I've watched episodes of this series. Of this specific version of this series. This is a weird one because this is a Konami game that's developed by Konami Digital Entertainment and also co-developed with Lightweight Company Limited. Never heard of Lightweight before. Published by Konami. This is a kart racer, kind of, but also it's a card battler. This is Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Wheelie Breakers for the Nintendo Wii, released in 2009. Which I had to wrap my mind around what a Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's game was. Because whole world is, if you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh!, you're playing a card game. It's all about card games. But they're also racing on motorcycles while playing the card game, like the traditional Yu-Gi-Oh! Style. And from what I remember from the anime, that is exactly what it is. They are racing around a track and casting monsters and attacking each other with these monsters. Like, how do you do that in a video game? Well, it turns out it's a kart racer. And you're using cards as power-ups like it was Mario Kart. So you have like speed ups, you'll have monsters that you'll pull out to attack other racers' motorcycles. And you kind of have a health bar, like you have your life points like you would have in a Yu-Gi-Oh! Game. But that's really just your stamina. So if you get hit enough, you'll stall out for a bit, and then you get back on the road and you race. This is based on that season of Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's.
When we drew this game, I knew what Yu-Gi-Oh was. I just assumed this was a DLC and that we had to pick the next game.
And I'm like, no.
No, you're like, this is real. I'm like,
this is a real thing.
Bummers. I gotta figure this out then. And it's this game.
There's things when you look at it, you're like, this could be good.
Right. I could mess around with
animations
this.
look pretty sweet at times. Like, it's interesting seeing how maybe the monsters interact with other people, or like how you're casting things. But when you look at it a little bit deeper, you just see like this hand of cards that's like sitting in the bottom right hand corner of the screen that you can kind of select through. I'm like, oh, what do these do? Are you actually playing Yu-Gi-Oh while you're cruising along? And one of them will just say like, gives you a speed boost, or like, you'll set this in your trap zone, so if like someone attacks you, it's gonna do an effect.
Courtney, what's running through your head right now?
One of you seems really excited about this game. The other is like, why am I here?
I mean, that's the Yu-Gi-Oh experience.
Yeah, I don't have any affinity with Yu-Gi-Oh. I have no connection to it. I see 5D's Wheelie Breakers, and I'm like, I don't even know where my head went when I read that. And then I see turn-based card dueling racing game, which I saw it described as turn-based.
It's not turn-based,
but it's not. It's definitely not turn-based. So when we went into it before we watched gameplay, I'm like, are you racing to a location, having a card battle, and then continuing on like almost like it's like a rally race or something?
Right.
So when I saw gameplay of it, I'm like, okay, completely different than I thought. I don't hate this. I don't hate the way this looks, the way that I thought I would, because it is essentially a Mario Kart clone, just with like, a Yu-Gi-Oh spin.
Right.
And it looks like it runs okay. Like it looks like
it looks like it runs okay.
Functions fine. It looks like it's perfectly competent as a racer.
Why would you play this instead of Mario Kart?
You wouldn't. Unless you like really like Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah. And specifically the 5D's season.
Or it's very specific.
Series. Like, it doesn't have any ties, I don't think, to like the original series of Yu-Gi-Oh. It's like whenever they need to come up with a new gimmick for the actual card game, they'll have like a new series of the anime that has like new characters, and they'll add like new rules. There's just things about like, if you look closely at like, oh, what's going on with the race? And it's like the map is just a pretty standard oval. Like, you're not really controlling too much there. I don't know if they were worried about like you not being able to pay attention to the cards that you have. And you're picking up cards like you would items in Mario Kart. Like, there's little items that you pick up on the track, and they'll like draw you a card. I don't know. Like, it's a cool idea. I like what they were going for, but it just looks boring and messy.
It's one of those things where like, I feel like if this game was made without any sort of licensing tied to it, that it could maybe spread its wings a little bit. It could do more.
Sure. But you're tied to the expectation, even if you've seen like this series, like this version of the series. I'm looking at like the bullet points for this. It says it's a strategic card battle for hardcore Yu-Gi-Oh fans, or an exciting arcade racer for casual gamers and racing aficionados alike. Chris, as a racing aficionado,
I don't know what I'm talking about. It's the greatest game I've ever seen.
All right. Yeah. I mean, you are driving around in cool motorcycles. You can like turn the bike around and drive backwards. All cool. I don't know if you saw that.
Roche. That's all I think of when I see that.
Hey, Roche is pretty rad.
No, he's not.
It's pretty cool.
No, he's not.
It's pretty awesome. He's no Squall.
Yeah. Oh God.
He's no Zell.
I'm just gonna ignore you from now on. I'm so glad we have a third co-host I can talk to. I think we've actually summarized pretty much everything this game has. It's got four modes of play. There's story mode, Grand Prix mode, time attack mode, and competition multiplayer mode. You can have 4 friends race with. You can do split screen.
And you have the monsters that you know from Yu-Gi-Oh.
The ones that you know.
That you know.
The ones that I know, like Black Rose Dragon's in there. Trying to think of other ones that this guy used. Some tuner.
Give me 3 or you're not
monster
a fan.
of some sort. I mean, like you can get Blue Eyes White Dragon probably.
You're making this
probably up. A Dark Magician.
These aren't even real.
It's probably a Dark Magician girl.
You're lying.
Neither of us is gonna know it and be like, no, that's not a thing.
So this came out the same day as a like an actual Yu-Gi-Oh card game for DS, I guess at the time. I think it was DS. But you could connect the two using whatever connection tools there were at the time between the Wii and the DS. Could be GBA. Hold
on. Well, while you're looking that up,
it doesn't say.
So again, this game was on the Wii, which it says here you utilize the Wii remote for card dueling and the nunchuck for the racing. Is that good? Does that
makes sense?
Fine?
That makes sense.
Fine? Okay,
that sounds fine.
I couldn't decide because I'm assuming
because of like
one has the trigger thumbstick.
And yeah, because like you're just steering with the nunchuck and probably have like your acceleration on there, maybe your brake, and then you're doing like directional control on the other one.
Okay, yeah, I guess that works. That makes sense.
We justified a lot of things on the Wii.
We did. That's one of the reasons why the Wii was never an impressive console for me. I could not get into controlling anything using the Wiimote and nunchuck. Wii bowling. That's it.
Anything
else
on
the
game
Wiimote?
That we didn't even use the nunchuck for that.
I know. It was a perfect game. It didn't have to use that stuff.
It's true.
Oh, goodness.
John, I'm going to let you lead off with whatever you might have about the developer because I got something fun planned.
Oh, boy.
So, and yes, you're both invited. So, John, let us know a little bit about the development stuff.
Yeah, so I kind of picked out one of the people who worked on it. It was the director from Lightweight, who was one of the co-developing teams for this game, Masakazu Tagawa. Who obviously, like I said, directed this game, but they did a lot of animation stuff on other games you might have heard of. They worked on character motion for Pokemon X and Y. They worked on Smash Brothers, a connection. Smash Brothers for Wii U and 3DS, character motion design, which is probably why the character like models and movement look all right in this game.
Yeah,
they probably had a really good eye for it. They also worked on Dragon Quest XI as a character animator.
I did see that. That was one thing I was like, ooh.
But also just like interesting beginnings. They worked on Bushido Blade 2 also for creating motion for video and cinematics. They worked on Death Stranding. Mm-hmm. Chris's favorite game. Yep. Another connection.
Yep. They
also worked on Final Fantasy 15. But their earliest role was as a designer for Kengo, Master of Bushido, for PS2, which was like a samurai simulator. I don't know if you've played that before.
What would that have released on?
PlayStation 2.
PlayStation 2, okay.
Yeah. When I looked at the box art, I recognized it immediately as something I probably rented from Blockbuster a couple times.
Gotcha. Not
to date myself.
Oh, here we go.
I rented things from Blockbuster. It's fine.
Yeah, what's up? Still got my Blockbuster card. Anything else on development?
No.
All right.
That's it.
Perfect. We're gonna play a game.
Uh-huh.
So Konami, this is not the first time we've covered Konami. We covered Konami. Now technically this is labeled different. But Konami's undergone some changes and stuff like that. It all falls under the same Konami Corporation umbrella. So I was like, well, let's instead of regurgitating what we've already done for Gradius back in episode 6, let's try this out. You guys are each going to get a guess. All right. I've got 10 games here. I need you to tell me if Konami developed these games or not.
Okay.
Okay. You're working off very limited information.
Done deal.
One of you might be better equipped than the other, but there's enough games.
God.
There's enough games on this list that.
Way to be condescending. What the hell, Chris?
Hey, I'm just saying.
This isn't even a competition.
Why would you think I'm not equipped?
Well, yeah. I mean, come on. I've worked with you for 24 episodes. All right. I know what you're capable of. I don't see you succeeding at this.
It's nothing good.
So our first game. All right. You guys are going to get one guess. It's simple yes or no.
How long are you going to let me have to Google this?
You have to answer within 3 seconds.
I can't hear it on your keyboard.
No, I'm not using my keyboard. See, you can't hear anything.
Yeah. Our first.
I'll let
game,
you answer first, though. Or are we competing?
You guys just shout it out. I got a notepad next to me. I'm gonna write down your answers. God. Our first game is Jurassic Park 3, developed by Konami or no?
No.
All right. Russian Attack.
No.
Konami or no?
Yes.
No. You got a yes. All right.
Russian or Rush In?
Russian Attack. Picubi 2 Rainbow Attack.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Do I get extra points if I answered before he did?
It's my favorite Picubi.
Sorry. Keep these ideas though. We might do more of this. This is our first kind of go around with it.
This is so bad.
Armello.
No.
Okay.
That's a. Okay.
The Spectrum Retreat.
Was that just Spectrum Retreat or was that S Spectrum?
The Spectrum Retreat.
Oh, okay. I'm like, how Japanese is this name getting?
No.
I'm going yes.
All right.
I'm not familiar with it.
You guys are definitely on divergent paths here. So
great.
The Goonies.
Yes.
Oh, I probably should have led with this, by the way. Half of these have been developed by Konami, half have not.
Okay.
So you have
I don't know how many I've answered yes or no.
I will tell you. Courtney, you have 4 no's, 2 yeses.
Oh,
John,
man.
you have 4 yeses, 2 no's.
Okay.
Got it? All right. Our next game. WEC Le Mans 24.
Oh.
Yes.
No.
He didn't answer the same as me. I Love Beauty Hollywood Makeover.
Yes.
No.
I mean, I was agreeing. I do love Beauty Hollywood Makeover.
All right, we got our last 2. Thundercross.
Oh, that sounds so sick.
Yes.
I'm sorry, could you say it like cool?
Thundercross.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No.
And then our last one, Crash Time 5 Undercover.
No.
Yes.
That sounded weak. I don't know if that was a legit answer.
All right, we're all good.
Let me tell you how many of those were legit answers.
All right. Well, I'm gonna first off, shame on both of you. After telling you that half are 5, half of each, you have 5 of each. You each went with 6 responses of one type.
But
John has 6 yeses. Courtney has 6 no's.
So when you tell us that after 6 of them, we can't like go back and change the other ones to think about the strategy here.
But you had the power. You had the power to end on at least 5.
I'm not going to be.
But some of my early ones were wrong.
That's true. You could have.
Right.
That's fair. That's fair.
Right.
And
Anyways,
you're asking me to math things, and I don't want to math.
We're trying to get the most right.
I know.
Not the most.
If I would have answered no to everything, I'd have 5 correct.
That's true.
Which
That's
might
true.
actually be more than I do have correct.
That's like,
Right.
yeah, it's like running down C all the way down your test, right?
Yeah.
You're it gives you the best shot.
And this
I
is
like it.
50-50.
This is, yeah. All right, so for question number 1, it's not a question, it's a game. Jurassic Park 3. John, you answered no. Courtney, you also answered no. The answer is yes.
No.
Oh, I feel better that I answered.
Developed
the
or
same as John.
published?
Developed. And I specifically sorted, for the record, I specifically sorted this by games developed on the list on Moby Games. So our second game was Russian Attack.
Mm-hmm.
John, you said yes. Courtney, you said no.
I'm wrong.
The answer is yes.
Yes.
John takes a 1-0 lead. Our third game, Picubi 2, Rainbow Attack. First question: have either of you heard of this game?
No.
This was a wild guess. Okay,
but still, my favorite Picubi.
Obviously, yes, far superior to the first one.
Yeah, or 3.
John, you answered yes. Courtney, you answered yes. The answer is no.
Oh.
Designed for the EXEN console or something. Designed, created by Diwali Entertainment.
Is it a pachinko machine?
No idea. All I know is Konami did not make it. So John is still up 1-0. Our fourth game, Armello. John, you said no. Courtney, you said no. The answer.
But I said no really fast.
I said no first.
Noted. You were both right.
Yeah, that was like a board game.
It was, yes.
It came out like a couple of years ago. That was an indie developed thing, like Kickstarted.
Yes, it was developed. It was on several platforms, but it was developed by League of Geeks.
That's a good name.
Sure was.
There you go. So we have John still up 2-1.
Yeah.
Our fifth game, The Spectrum Retreat, which for some reason John heard and wanted to know just how Japanese it was.
As Spectrum?
Is that on a level of 1 to 10? How Japanese is that game?
I mean, it's going to tell me how Konami it is.
John, you said yes. Courtney, you said no.
Uh-oh.
The answer is no.
We're tied up.
Tie game.
Came out on the Switch, Windows, and Xbox One, developed by Dan Smith Studios.
Damn it, Dan.
Good job, Dan.
Why you got to make a Konami sounded game?
You couldn't have made a phone call to Konami?
Anyone can get something published through them.
Our sixth game, The Goonies. John, you said yes. Courtney, you said yes. The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yay.
We've got
Classic.
a tie game, 3-3. Our seventh game, WEC Le Mans 24. John, you said no. Courtney, you said yes.
Can I say?
Can you say?
Yeah. Can I say who it is?
Yeah, go ahead.
Because it was Infogrames.
No, the developers, Konami. This is this is not the Le Mans game.
Tricked me.
We covered on the show.
Tricked me.
Point awarded to Courtney.
Can we just end the game right here?
Courtney is up 4-3 with 3 games left.
You say 4-3? Isn't it 2-1?
No, it's 4-3.
No, it's 4-3.
Oh, okay. I guess it is 4-3. We are scoring points. Yes. Okay.
Our eighth game,
2-1.
I Love Beauty, which John agrees with. Hollywood Makeover.
Mm-hmm.
Hollywood.
I love Hollywood Makeover.
We had John saying yes. We had Courtney saying no. The answer is no.
Oh my goodness.
I should have known.
Designed for the DS by developer City Interactive. Courtney takes.
Chris, why are you doing me like this?
A commanding lead. Now hold on.
I thought we were friends.
No.
Listen. We have 9 and 10. You guys both answered differently for both 9 and 10.
Yeah.
So you have hope.
Oh. Well.
You have hope. Here we go. All right. Number 9. Thunder Cross.
Yes.
Oh, nice. Good touch.
Oh, man.
John, you said no. Courtney, you said yes.
Oh, this is scary.
The answer is yes. Courtney seals the victory.
Oh no.
Okay.
Thundercross, you betrayed me.
Do the last one, and then I know what I want to claim as my prize.
We might both lose, John. Number 10, Crash Time 5 Undercover. John, you said yes. Mm-hmm. Courtney, you said no. The answer is no.
Oh no.
Oh, brutal defeat.
Wow.
John.
Wow, congratulations.
Taken out just back. And
the knowledge.
The knowledge. I'm a really good tester.
This is why we brought you on.
Yes. Yes.
So I think until like this next week through the next time we do a podcast recording, you just need to refer to me as the Konami Queen.
The Konami Queen.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Perfect.
I think that's a really good prize.
Or do we spell Konami with a Q?
Oh, I don't know that you can change Konami. I think you'd have to change Queen.
Yeah, QWEEN.
Yeah.
Q. Yeah. No, I'm sorry, not Q. I'm
yes, QWEEN. Yeah, that is Queen. That's how you spell it.
No. K is what I was trying to say, not Q. Gosh.
No, I mean,
this is why I don't work for Game Informer.
Because you spell things right.
I can't spell.
You do spell things correctly.
You don't spell Queen QWEEN.
No.
Do you spell it with a U?
Oh, sorry. Yes.
You've had a long 5 days.
I was thinking you.
I thought you were making fun of me. You just were confused.
John, edit this out.
John, leave this in.
John, hey, John. Producer John.
I would like to point out, by the way, that by the time we got to the fourth game, Courtney did not miss one. She went 0 for 3 and then went 7-0 on her last 7.
How quick were you Googling those?
I know.
I was trying to scroll through a list and I couldn't find anything that he was actually saying, and the only one that I could find was one that we had already answered, and I knew I got wrong. And that was the Russian heroes.
Oh, Russian attack.
Which the Russian attack. For some reason, when he said it, I was thinking like Russian, like Russia, and not rushing.
Yep. By the way,
that's awesome. That was
Yu-Gi-Oh!
fun.
5D's Wheelie Breaker sits at a 73 on Metacritic and a 7.5 user score. Should have covered that before we got to the game.
Oh my!
But did you guys enjoy that game? Is that something we should try to roll in from time to time?
Yeah. Cool. I like it.
But next time I think I'm quizzing the two of you, because that's going to be a much better competition.
No, this was good.
You mean better competition? You doubled his score.
You demolished.
Yeah, but
she's like, I'm Queen Mastermind over here. We'll let you two losers figure out.
I know too much, and it messes with my brain.
Everything is made by Konami. What do you want from me?
Everything.
Why
didn't you give us like a Metal Gear or a Castlevania? Throw me a bone here.
Half of these games I randomized, and when I wasn't getting 52 DLC games in a row, like DLC specific, and finally got a real game, I was like, do I put an EXEN console on here? I'm like, yes, I do, because I'm not doing this anymore.
I mean, is that part of our list?
No, it's not. I don't even know what it is. I don't. I'm sure we looked at it at one point when we were putting our list together. Like,
and we're like, nah.
Yeah.
What is this? Is this a phone?
I have no clue. But should we go ahead and rank these bad boys?
We should. I think so.
Let's see. Courtney.
Oh, yes.
Knowing what you've learned, we're going to start with you. I want you to rank your number 3 game first, and then stop. We'll all give our number 3.
And am I ranking these like in my interest of playing?
Your interest.
Yes.
All right. What games would you rather play?
Actually, so we go 3, 2, 1, and we like do a round each. So we'll each do our 3. We'll each do our 2.
If you want, also, you could open the Discord, head to episode 24. You can check out a couple screenshots.
I was kind of looking stuff up as we were going.
You were? Okay.
Yeah, my third one, like my least interested of these 3 would be the Yu-Gi-Oh game.
Perfect.
Why?
I'm sorry, John. I'm really sorry.
Are you just like against Yu-Gi-Oh? Are you?
I just I don't know Yu-Gi-Oh, and if you tell me that it's going to be like Mario Kart, I just really want to play Mario Kart.
Mm-hmm.
Fair.
Yes.
Fair.
Excellent.
All right, John. What's your number 3?
My number 3 is also Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Wheelie Breakers. No, this game doesn't look great. Me, who is a Yu-Gi-Oh fan, and I have cards, and I would like to play the card game occasionally. I really like the card game, and I like the idea of playing the card game on fast-moving motorcycles, like in the anime. It's not really the case here. It's just a watered-down Mario Kart with like some Yu-Gi-Oh flavor, which I do appreciate. But like watching some videos of it, I don't think I really want to play this game too much, or at least third for the games that we talked about today. So
fair.
Chris,
my 3? Game number 3 is going to be Cedric and the Revolution. Yeah, I am not a fan of point-and-click adventure games. I would lose interest almost immediately. I think it's cool that such a thing exists. The adventure game studio that and the way they kind of roll out these challenges and whatnot. I'm sure it's a fine game. I was getting flashbacks and callbacks to Monkey Island and stuff like that, but again, that genre as a whole is never something that's resonated with me. I just have no interest in it.
Cool.
Courtney, drop your number 2.
My number 2 is going to be Kirby's Adventure.
Nice.
What put it there? What
Well,
it's ahead of Yu-Gi-Oh. You explained
it's ahead
Yu-Gi-Oh.
of Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yes,
because Kirby's cute, and I could handle Kirby.
Mm-hmm.
That gameplay seems like mindless entertainment for me.
Sure.
Like perfect, you could just sit there for hours and just kind of be chill with life.
Yeah,
that's fair.
How are you with platformers? Are you into those? Do you like a Mario?
I have issues
like
with
a Sonic?
jumping.
Okay.
So platformers are normally not super great.
I could see how that could fall on that list.
Yeah,
that's a skill you definitely want to have.
Yeah, I need some practice in the jumping.
Yeah,
I could do it with Kirby.
There you go.
That is part of the nice thing about Kirby. I'll get to that later, though. My number 2 would be Cedric and the Revolution, and I put it above Yu-Gi-Oh, because it looks like it's a well-designed point-and-click adventure. I do like those games, and that it's only like an hour long seems okay in my book. At least the Let's Play that I was watching was only an hour long. I don't know if they've played it before or not, so they could just be solving everything super quick.
Accidentally watched the speed run.
Oh no. I like the idea of like a condensed point and click adventure, and that's why I was kind of recommending the Tales of Monkey Island games, because they are episodic. There's five episodes, I think, so they're like bite-sized, like 1 to 2 hour things, and I'm into that. And I think I would like this game as well if I were to give it a shot, if we could figure out how to download it.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah.
Maybe you'll find some time, because you have such an open schedule right now that you'll be able to update us.
Yeah, just so much time, so much free time.
Yeah, exactly.
Just really just it's like just leaning on things and not doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
That's me right now.
Having a casual smoke on the corner. My number 2 is Kirby's Adventure. Okay. I think this game could be fine. It's a product of its time, and I know it's probably blasphemy, the fact that this game would be my number 2, being so highly regarded. For that reason alone, it probably deserves a higher spot. But after playing through that first level,
you have played it recently, so you know better than any of us.
True. It's a it's an antiquated thing.
Sure.
It's tough to go back. I don't think it's tied just to the age, though. I don't think it's that. I think it's attributed to just some of the control issues that I have, which may be tied to the console that I played on. Playing it on the Switch with a Pro controller is not the pro move. I think I will actually boot it back up and try it on the NES Classic and just see how it feels with the actual NES controller. But
sure.
Yeah, I didn't really have any interest in going forward. And as you know, Courtney, you kind of brought it out of me before, where you're like, "What would it take for you to play this?" And I realized quite a lot, actually. So we probably won't see the end of that playthrough. Courtney,
well, that happens.
Game number 1, top tier. What is it?
My number 1 is the first one, Cedric and the Revolution. Because this week, I'm telling you, I'm going to find a way to download that game and play it. And then I'm going to come back and tell you guys how awesome it was.
Perfect.
That's awesome.
Throw that, like, throw your experiences as you experience them. I want to see updates in the Discord. I want to see.
Just put them in that channel.
Here we are. What do we think? So
I'm gonna do it. Maybe it would even like get a stream going.
Oh, there you go. Yes.
I don't want to get anyone super
Someone's
excited,
finally fulfilling our streaming.
Well, and you're so excited about it. You should, if you do that. I can't imagine this game gets streamed often. You should find the developer on Twitter. It's Origami Hero on Twitter. Tag him. Be like, hey, listen, we're gonna do this. You covered your game on our show. We're gonna check this out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this is an award-winning game. Listen,
it was.
So this is.
It had lots of awards. It looked really cute and it looked funny. And it's only an hour, so I've spent an hour doing worse things.
There you go. You sat here with us for 2.
For 2, yeah.
Wow.
John, game number 1.
Yes. My game number 1, by process of elimination, is Kirby's Adventure. And admittedly, this is a Kirby game that I haven't played a ton of. Probably a couple times when I was a kid. But I love Kirby games in general, that I think I would have a really good time going back to this to see the roots of Kirby's like copy ability and all of those different moves that they have in there and how they compare to how they work in newer games. I think I personally would have a really fun it'd be a good like learning session for me of like what design choices were made going forward to evolve Kirby, or like what was taken from this and what was kind of ditched. I think that'd be super interesting. So, and I do have access to it in multiple ways, so I should probably do that, but I'll probably play Kirby Superstar instead.
There you go. And I guess I'm shocked. I never think about the order of these games until we have to rank
until
them.
You're doing it. Yeah, that's the fun of it.
Yeah.
Like, never plan it ahead of time.
Right.
Because you never know what you're going to, like, talk about during the show and, like, what piques your interest.
Yeah.
Because it could just throw the whole list out the window.
Exactly. And if you would have told me at the beginning of the show that my game, Yu-Gi-Oh! To me would be higher than Yu-Gi-Oh! To John on this list, and not just higher, my number 1, his number 3.
Yes.
I would have been shocked. But it is a Mario Kart clone, and it's a lot different than I expected coming in. And I think the gameplay of this seems more fun than the other 2 games on the list. I would get incredibly bored with Cedric, and I did get pretty bored with Kirby. Sure. And maybe I make it past one race and be like, oh, no, this is not fun. That could very well happen. But the idea of a Mario Kart clone is so much more exciting to me than a point-and-click adventure and a almost 30-year-old side scroller. So that's why Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Wheelie Breakers, some crazy how, ended up being my number 1 game for the week.
It happens, man.
Yeah. So, and that's, again, I think this game works I think it works even better if you get rid of this licensing which I have no.
But it means nothing to you. So why does it?
It doesn't mean anything to me. But
why
I think it does hold the game back. I think that there's something here that could be built on.
They're medieval gladiators.
I think the idea of the card mechanic could.
But they're.
I don't know. Make it.
They're in chariots.
Own up and make it a Mario Kart clone. Just
hey, what if it was a chariot racer, but also a card game? Then are we making money here?
Wow.
Do we make a hit franchise? Is this a roguelike? Is this a dub car?
I know how to transfer human ears to dog ears in JavaScript now, so I'm this close to making a full-fledged video game.
It's multiplied by 7, man.
No, that's not true. Not according to Codecademy. It's 10.5 years for the first 2 years of your life, and then 4 years for all remaining years.
Are they dog scientists over at Codecademy?
I guess so. This was very surprising to me. I didn't know the intricacies
doctors?
of how to adjust or how to account for a dog in human ears.
Man,
there you go, folks. That is it. That's the show. That was fun.
Courtney,
the three person.
Welcome.
I'm digging it. I think that was good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for putting up with us.
Yeah.
As usual.
We didn't know what we were doing going in, so we'll make some fine tunes. Maybe we'll adjust some things, but I think that went super well.
I bet you have some people who are going to have some feedback.
I would love to hear the feedback. I would. We have.
Is it you?
Well, I'm saving my feedback for your game reviews now.
Okay, great. Thank you. Someone has to.
So, if you guys do have said feedback, we want you to share it with us. Send us an email at pgshowinbox@gmail.com. Reach out to us on Twitter at pg_show. Reach out to us on our Patreon. And if you like the show more than a little bit, consider subbing to the Patreon or becoming a patron. For as little as $3, you can help us continue to grow this thing and do some fun stuff with it. We got a lot of fun things planned. I was gonna announce something. Actually, I have to announce something because I played some pretty. I laid some pretty sick teases all week or last week too.
Go,
I better
do it. I don't know what this is, but go for it.
You do know what this is because you have access to it. Starting tomorrow, we'll be launching our procedurally generated TikTok account.
Yay!
Oh yeah.
So what I'm doing is working through and we're getting our backlog all sorted out. So I've got almost 5 videos ready to go up on TikTok. We're going to kind of distribute them every couple of days until we get caught up to our current episode, which I don't know if that'll probably happen around episode 30. I don't know, something like that. And then we'll switch to a weekly release for that. But they're just, I'm calling them procedurally generated quick talks. I think that they're a lot of fun. They're allowing me to play around a little video editing, allowing me to write a little script, try to interject a little bit of humor. They're a little bit more, what's the word? Not critical. There's I may be interjecting some pointed humor at some of these games.
Yeah.
So
got some quick wit.
It's not meant to be a slight to any of the games, but it's just something.
From what I've seen, it's not. No.
My humor has matured over the episodes you haven't seen yet. We'll just say that. But no, I'm really excited to launch it. So if you guys want to check out our TikTok, it is PG Show. What is our TikTok? I should probably figure out what it is before I tell you that. Hold on.
While you're doing that, I should clarify. When you say they're going live tomorrow at the time of the recording. These will be live by the time the episode goes live. Is that correct?
Yeah. Well, I suppose. What time? When will we have the Patreon? I guess
when I have time.
Putting you on the spot on that one.
When I have time.
Yeah.
Hopefully tomorrow night.
Tell you what, if you're listening to this, go check.
Yeah, go check.
It might be live. I've got to find the actual handle for it because a lot of what I wanted was taken inexplicably. So let's see here. We do this, but you guys want to vamp for just a second?
Yeah, it's like we have a name for our podcast that is a way of developing things for games or for other things, and it's going to be taken pretty quickly.
That's right. The TikTok handle is PG_podcast.
Oh yeah, there you go.
So we ended up landing that one. PG Show is taken. I was like, who did it? I'll find him.
Track him down.
I know. But
Peter Gabriel.
Yes, please check that out. I put a lot of work into that. I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Peter
we'll
Griffin.
Continue to have that stuff come out. So.
It's just a Family Guy podcast. That's it.
And then we haven't actually. I wasn't ready for this either, but we got to thank our patrons.
John, I would just like to point out that Chris only meowed you once.
We were counting meows.
Yeah, I was expecting more, honestly.
But
there was only one.
I do it just often enough for people to be like, "Did you say that?" And then I never say it again. They're like, "I didn't say that."
Yeah, that's part of his strategy.
So, all right, a big thank you to the following folks, our patrons. Let's see here.
Is that part of the sense of humor that you grew over the course of making the TikTok episodes?
The sense of
your
humor
new mature humor.
It is. It's again. I've actually really enjoyed writing these scripts and trying to like interject some humor into it.
I was really impressed.
It's yeah. I have it in me. I have it in me.
Yeah.
They're not all bangers.
Awesome.
Let's qualify that. They're not all bangers.
It's a TikTok.
Some of them are a bit of a reach, but you do what you can.
You do what you can.
So a big thank you to our following patrons for all the support. Thank you. Especially after the long break, you guys, we've shut off the billing for quite some time. We'll be turning it back on in October, so consider these ones the September shows as freebies for your support and hanging out with us.
Thanks.
Aussie Gamer, one of our bronze patrons, Brandon Johnson, bronze patron, Jason Daphnis, John Carson, John Jensen. There's our bronze fam. Our silver patrons,
Thanks,
Cassidy Newmans, my wife, Catherine Weber, The Lone Wolf 2010, Tim G, and Tori Lumac. Thank you guys so much. Our gold supporter, X-Chin, and our platinum co-host,
bought her way on.
I bought her
Courtney.
Yep.
She's the only one who qualifies.
Over here.
Yeah, she's the only one who qualifies for the backstage pass. And we're like, well, you could just be here instead.
You could just be on the show.
VIP all the time.
That's right. Thank you guys all so much for the support. Again, we're glad to be back. Thrilled to keep. The TikTok is not the last thing that we're working on. We got other things in the works. So, without further ado, John, you have to go in like 1 minute, right? Didn't you say you had 10
Sure.
o'clock?
Yeah, I need to go find cat food.
Yeah, that's right. We got to get your cat fed. So you guys have a fantastic evening. Again, if you enjoyed or week or whatever, if you enjoyed the show, go ahead and leave a 5-star review. We appreciate it. Leave us positive reviews wherever you can. It does go a long ways to helping the show find new listeners. So, bye everybody.
See ya.
Bye.
Thanks for listening or something.
This is Whiny John voice.
Let's finally just give it up.
And that's a show.